Hey everybody, it's Annie here, and today we're going to be reading What Waits in the Woods by Kieran Scott, Scholastic book. So, I'm just going to read the back real quick. It says, or the top of it, an exciting hold your breath thriller. Melissa Deal Cruz, New York Times bestselling author of Blue Bloods and Witches of East End. Taut breathless will keep the pages turning in your mind and pulse racing. So, let's begin. Recovery Journal Entry 1. There's no question. Things could have gone differently out there in those woods. One zipper more tightly zipped, one foot more carefully placed on a rotting wood plank. And I might not be here today. I might be roaming free instead of sitting locked up in this hole, sucking my every meal through a straw, staring at a padded wall. There might not have been so much bloodshed, or there might not have been even more death. There's no telling how everything might have turned on a chance. What could never have been different was the why. That is the only neverable, and yet that is Dr. P. Brain's favorite ask every single time he walks into my tiny square cell. Have you thought about why? Any more insights as why? I can't help you unless you tell me why. Well, here's the thing, Doc. If you are so entirely brain dead that you can't figure out for yourself, then I can't help you. Because the why is obvious. You potato head, Afrin snorting idiot. The why is all there. What I can tell you is this. They deserve to die. Every last one of them. And if you can't see that, well then no one can help you. Chapter 1. Callie Vasquez wasn't ready to die. Not here, not now, not like this. Not standing in the middle of a pitch-black forest clutching a roll of toilet paper. No, that just seemed wrong. She's only 16, but it was going to happen, especially if that snorting, breathing, hulking thing, managed to pick up her scent. Callie stood perfectly still. She tried as hard as she could to keep her breath shallow, but the terror gripping her heart kept making her want to suck in air to cough. Her knees quaked and her stomach twisted itself into horrible, every tightening knots. Why had she used that strawberry shampoo this morning? The sugary scented wafted from her thick, dark, muscularly straightened hair. Or could the thing smell her coconut body wash? Or maybe the chemical odor of olive green nail polish she applied to her toes in the kitchen after breakfast, thinking it was so hiking appropriate. Callie looked down at her bare, throbbing toes and her new TV of flip-flops. Maybe it was her feet. They'd been pretty rank ever since she'd peeled off her sweaty socks and carefully applied first aid cream and band-aids to her lovely new blisters. Oh God, could it smell his feet? Another snort. This one was even closer than the last. She could feel the thing's presence just behind her like a pulsing warmth. It was so large, it radiated heat. She imagined a huge brown bear with a snout as wide as her father's hand, a wild boar, awful fangs glinting in the moonlight, a mountain lion crouching low and taunting and taut, primed for the kill. Her instincts told her to run, but her fear kept her frozen. That and some vague notion from a movie that she'd once seen as a kid, that the best policy in this situation was not to draw attention. Bears couldn't see you unless you moved. Or was that dinosaurs? What was she even doing here? Was being a part of a popular crowd in a tiny upstate of Mission High Hills, New York, really so important to her that she had to risk her life just because she had some insane new need to prove that she was no longer the nerd she had been back in Chicago? Now she was going to die. The moment Lisa Barton and Penelope Grang had noticed her in the cafeteria that second week of school. When Callie had been the shy new girl, she latched on to them like a life raft in a storm. And the moment had led directly to this one. Callie had never been camping in her life, had never felt the need to go camping, but this was apparently what people did for fun in upstate New York. At least what her new friends did for fun. So here she was having loads and loads of fun when her boyfriend Jeremy Higgins, yes, Callie had a boyfriend now, another upside of being newly popular, had picked her up this morning. She'd been so nervous, she started up a kind of matronda. 4 nights. 4 nights? 4 nights. That was all she had to get through. Yet, here she was, evening 1, about to get eaten alive. She vaguely wondered if the thing would maul her friends after it was done with her. "Hey, Callie," Jamie shouted from their campsite, which was probably 40 yards from where she was standing. "Are you okay out there?" There was a surprised snort, and suddenly the thing took off into the woods. Callie whipped around in the direction of snapping twigs and crunching leaves, but saw nothing, just some low, weak branches crushed in the underbrush nearby. She heaved a breath, bent at the waist, and pressed her hands to her heart. "You're okay," she whispered to herself, tears squeezing from her eyes. "You're okay, you're okay, you're okay." She was going to live 4 nights, but Sunday she'd be back in her dad's car, and they'd be driving to the airport to pick up her mom after her summer in Sepulveda. Then the next week, she and her mom would go to New York City and go back to school shopping. Callie was going to live to see her mother again, to finish writing at least one of the 10 short stories she started since June, to read the rest of the Black Info series, and finish painting her new bedroom now that she'd finally settled on that pretty aqua after 3 misguided attempts of in the purple family. Everything was going to be fine, except Callie stood up straight and turned around. She had no clue which direction she was facing. She lost her bearings when she whirled to spot whatever it was that had crept up on her. Was the camp in front of her? Behind her? Where was that skinny, muddy trail she'd taken to get here? A low mew escaped her lips. Callie thought brought her hands to her head, the soft triple ply of Penelope's toilet paper soaking up her sweat. She thought about shouting out for help, but she didn't want to look like an idiot. Lisa and Penelope had already spent half the day teasing her for not breaking in her hiking boots, for packing her makeup bag, and for a change of earrings, and for forgetting to bring her water bottle, which she knew for a fact was sitting on the kitchen counter where she thought she wouldn't miss it on her way out the door. She didn't want them to think that she needed a babysitter every time she had to use the bathroom, too. If that was what you could even call what she'd just done. Squatting next to a tree? Ew. If only she'd had her phone. She could text Jeremy and he would come find her, without alerting Lisa and Penn to her total lameness, but she left it in the pocket of her hoodie, which was tossed uselessly on a blanket by the fire. "Callie," she muttered to herself, "think. You're a straight-A student. You survived getting lost in on the Chicago L by yourself when you were 10 years old. You can figure out which direction to walk in and get back to camp." It was funny, really. Until now, she'd always thought of herself as a survivor. Her parents had been letting her walk home from school with her friends in Chicago since she was 8. At 12, she'd flown to Brazil alone to visit her grandmother, and hadn't freaked out or cried once. With her friends back in Chicago, she was the leader, the one who could navigate the map at Six Flags, order the exact right number of pizzas for a party of 15, and figure out the tip. she hadn't even crumbled when her parents had told her that her dad had gotten the new job at Cornell Law. And they were moving to New York City, leaving behind her friends she had her entire life, and nobody only in the only neighborhood she'd ever called home. But it seemed upstate New York's survival skills were entirely different from outer loop Chicago's survival skills. Callie looked up. It was past 8 o'clock on an August night. The sky was deep ink blue, beyond the tangled canopy of branches and leaves, and every last tree trunk looked black in the darkness. Black and the exact same. Okay, forget pride. Pride was stupid. It's time to shout for help. For a friend. She opened her mouth just as a hand came down on her shoulders. Thanks for watching, you guys, and I hope you liked it. I know, sorry I messed up a few words and stuff, but, I'm hoping by the end my words will be better, so thanks for watching. Bye.